on you as well. Okay. And hello to everyone online too. We're just going to get started. I'm Izzy DeGrosse. I'm the rep from Bellevue College. So I work with admissions just to get everybody started. I visit the high schools in the area, do some field trips, things like that. And with me, I have two staff from the BC Foundation as well. If you guys would like to say hello real quick.
Hi, I'm Melissa Johnson. I'm the Executive Director of the Foundation.
Hi, I'm Jessica Trumbull. I'm the Scholarships and Programs Manager of the Foundation.
So other questions and things can be held to the end. I'll try to leave a lot of time for questions. This presentation is what I give at most high schools, so it's very general. It kind of goes over some things in our main pamphlet as well, and a little bit on our scholarships and our upcoming open house this Saturday. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started.
We really did rehearse.
Yeah, it was working.
Yeah, it worked. It worked 5 minutes ago. That's the great part. All the best parts of Bellevue College. I think people are surprised to realize that we are one of the largest schools in the state. We'll have about 20,000 students through this year, 14 bachelor's programs, and now, you know, I've done my dance. Izzy, back to you.
And back to technology, yeah. And here's some just mechanics from the event. If you're joining us online, there's an ask a question button as well as some interpretation. And schedule things as well. Is this? Oh, it's not showing online. Okay. Yeah. That's showing. Good? Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so now we can get started. And we've introduced ourselves. So today's agenda is just going over some basic facts about student life, financing your education, academic options, and our admissions process at Bellevue College. Like I said, this is kind of just a generalized overview. And if you have more specific questions, hopefully we can help you guys out or know who has the answer as well. So some history and demographics. We were founded in 1966. You may be familiar with our old title, Bellevue Community College, and we switched that in 2009 to Bellevue College to reflect our 14 bachelor's degrees. And we're the largest open access college in Washington and the third largest college overall in Washington State, so right below UW and Wazoo. So 100 wooded acres, and it's a really beautiful campus. You can come by. 20,000 plus students annually and more than 1,200 international students. And even though we are such a large college, we keep the class size small. It's very important. So we have a student to teacher ratio of 22:1 and a median student age of 20. And we have everyone from adult students to Running Start students, which is very popular on our campus as well. And now there's just a few slides about fun facts you might not know about Bellevue College. So we have the highest 10-year return on investment of any degree granting institution in the state. And we are the 8th highest in the nation of all public colleges. Another one is we are the state's 7th designated arboretum. So even though we're about 5 minutes from the city center of Bellevue, it is very wooded campus. It's very beautiful to walk around, lots of nature. So you kind of get best of both worlds with the nature and the city. And I believe recent news, Mid-Lakes United, a semi-professional soccer team, is playing at Bellevue College. So if you look on their schedule, you might be able to check out our campus that way as well. And students who transfer to four-year colleges after attending Bellevue College have higher rates of success and completion. Something to note is about 47% of our students do that academic transfer DTA, which is what we'll talk about a little later. And if you're curious, feel free to ask questions on how that process works as well. And a little about student life. There could be a worry from students that community college doesn't give that student life aspect, but thankfully at Bellevue College we have a ton of options. And since we are so big, there's a ton of different interests, sports, things going on all the time. 60 plus student clubs, 19 programs, and 100 plus annual events. And here are sports listed out. So basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, soccer, golf, and tennis. This doesn't include some club rec sports as well. So if you'd ever like to utilize our gym, we also have like pickleball that's really popular on our campus. So that's pretty fun too. And it's a great way to get started in sports if you're not quite ready to do university as well. And you can do that transfer program and do sports the whole time. Something a little less known about Bellevue College is that we actually have student housing as well, and we're the only community college with a planetarium on our campus. And our gymnasium is very large as well, so lots of access for sports if that's something you're into. And 15 plus student success programs. Here's just some photos of our on-campus housing. They're all updated apartments. They're super nice. Get your own kitchen, everything like that. So if that's something your students looking into, highly recommend looking around housing. They do tours as well. And just a few more photos of the outside. It is on the south end of our campus, and there's also a cafe underneath the housing that's shown in that photo. So now we'll get into our bachelor's degrees. Like I said, a little lesser known, but we're so excited for anyone who wants to join our bachelor's programs. And here are the bachelors of applied science. We have accounting, business, management and tech, data management and analysis, cybersecurity, and software development and AI. Something to point out as well with the AI is we have a VR and AI lab. That's pretty unique to Bellevue College as well. So it's very interactive, work with the computers, programming, all that good stuff. It's really impressive to see what students can do with that technology. And just a few more. There's kind of a big healthcare focus as well, which you might see. So we have healthcare informatics, management and leadership, promotion and management, radiation, molecular bio, and digital marketing. Some others, Bachelor of Sciences, we have computer science and nursing, RN to BSN. And the last one is the Bachelor of Applied Arts and Interior Design. That one is pretty unique to our college as well. So if that's something your student's interested in, definitely check out our program. And to switch gears a little bit, our professional and technical degrees are 2-year or less programs generally that are made to just go straight to the workforce after receiving that degree. So a couple of them I'll point out are the criminal justice AA, diagnostic ultrasound, and interior studies and radiation therapy. Those are just some popular ones, but they're all listed in the program as well if you'd like to take a look. And Umoja and Puente programs. So these are part of our Student Success and Multicultural Center, and they're pretty similar to each other. The Umoja Scholars Program is a partnership with Umoja National Consortium. So this was started in Southern California, and it was made all the way up kind of to the West Coast We're one of the few schools in Washington that is in partnership with the MOJA, and it provides academic guidance, private counseling, and community connections for Black, African American, and other students. Contact is there as well. So students have their same cohort for the first full year and are able to go to community events, study hall, and have their own private counseling. Similar to that is our Puente program. It's actually nationally recognized and award-winning, and it's dedicated to supporting Latinx students, reaching their academic potential, and returning to communities as mentors and leaders. So just a quick slide on instruction modes. I do get a lot of questions about what classes might be virtual, can I take all online, all that good stuff. And we have all three options available for you at Bellevue College. It's all up to the student. So you might see some hybrid options, some in-person and fully online as well. And so if there's any concern for access to technology, no worries, students. And yeah, you can get a laptop through our library laptop loan. And here's just a slide going over some things that are here to support you as a student at BC. Neurodiversity Navigators is a really popular option we're very proud to offer. That's for any student who deems themselves as neurodiverse and wants a cohort to kind of guide them through that first year. You have guidance to kind of work with your brain, work through college, and advocate for yourself as a student as well. BC Library is actually where our VR and AI lab is housed, and many collections as well. So a lot of great things there. TRIO support is for first gen and low income students that receive academic advising and guidance through school as well. These are pretty quick as well, so just some slides on financing education. We have a payment plan that can split tuition into payments of 3 instead of paying your tuition all in one lump sum at the beginning, so that can be helpful for a lot of students. And then, of course, you can combine FAFSA and WASFA with BC financial aid that you receive. And BC Foundation, another great option. Either our scholarships in-house, and they are currently open, and there's another slide on that as well. And then third-party funding, Get 29 state and federal programs, and employee-funded tuition if that's something offered to you. And this is just kind of a reminder that financial aid is an umbrella term. So there's many ways that you can cover your education. Work study loans, BC Foundation, kind of combine and pool all your resources if that's something that you're able to do. Now scholarships. Our BC Foundation scholarship is currently open and it closes on March 28th. So if you are a prospective student and you know you'll enroll in Bellevue College, you can start that scholarship application. And then here's a slide on tuition and fees as well. There's difference in resident, non-resident, and upper division courses, and we follow the same course price as all the CTCs in Washington as well. Application process is pretty simple. You pretty much set up your BC account and BC email, send in your high school transcript to get your placements, attend a few orientations, and you're all good to go. So there's no GPA or essay requirement. And if you'd like to know more, talk to specific programs, take a campus tour, go to an information session. We have Discovery Day this Saturday from 10 to 2. So feel free to drop by at any time. And it'll be just a big open house event, so there's lots of opportunities to learn more. And we also have an admission advisor should you run into any trouble. If you'd like her contact info, I also have it. And we have Instagram as well. Our student staff run it, and there's lots of important updates on there. All right, so now we're to the questions portion, if there's any questions you guys have.
people are thinking of their questions, one of the things I like to really share with the students who are looking at coming here, our bachelor's programs are designed in partnership with a lot of the leaders in our local economy. Microsoft is the largest employer of our students when they graduate. They hire the most of our students. We work with Packard and Microsoft and Amazon and all of these corporations that are right here, T-Mobile, and we create and make sure that our curriculum is up to date for the needs of our current workforce. So not only are you getting a really important and valuable education, but it's an applied bachelor's. So it is the skills that you need to walk into a job right here in our local economy and be successful. You will have the, I think almost every one of our programs has an advisory committee. Our bachelors or our transfers have advisory committees. I don't work for the college side, I work for the foundation side, but I think my understanding is that it's all of our transfer degrees and many of our bachelors. The advisory committees are made up of experts in their fields. So they convene on campus every year and go through the curriculum and talk about changes coming. We hold conferences. We'll be having an AI conference and an accounting conference this year on campus. We have a really robust campus life. I think people would be surprised at the Bellevue College of today, especially for the parents in the room who have grown up in this area or been in this area who remember the BCC days. This is now a destination for students who choose academics. It is such a reasonable way to get started in college at about $4,500 a year to do your first 2 years of college, and a little bit more than that if you want to stay for your bachelor's. Jessica, do you want to talk about scholarships for a second?
Sure. So like I mentioned, our scholarship application is currently open. And the way our process works is that we have one application and we'll consider you for everything that we offer. So students just need to complete the one application. It's entirely available online. You can actually access it through the QR code on the scholarship flyer right up the front. And you have until March 28th to send that. There's no transcripts, there's no recommendation requirements. It's a really straightforward process. So answer some short answer questions. You can also attend one of our scholarship information sessions. We host them virtually and they're online. But ultimately you submit that application and then we do the hard work of figuring out what you're at, the best possible scholarship. We have a really great success rate. About 34% of the students who applied last year received a scholarship. So 1 in 3 will actually receive funding from us. We awarded more than $500,000 and 250 scholarships last year. So it's definitely worth applying. Yes.
So the scholarship application is after student 2024 or?
So it's for everyone. So if you're planning to attend Bellevue College in the 24-25 academic year, starting this fall, then you're eligible to apply for the scholarship. So continuing students can apply, but so can new and incoming students. It's okay if you're not going to be enrolled full time. We can work with you on that. There are a lot of options for different programs and also need and non-need based aid is available.
I also want to point out that you don't have to know you're coming to Bellevue to fill out the application and to apply for the scholarship. A lot of our students don't know, but it is worth the time. Our application is a low barrier application. We are looking for leadership skills and goals and support. They are not, they're six, is it?
7 short answers.
7 short answer questions, and if you put some thought and intention into them, they get reviewed by a handful. In fact, if any parents in the room, if you don't have students at BC, can review scholarships coming up, we have that opportunity too. Every one of our scholarship applications will get read and reviewed by a committee multiple times to ensure equitable scoring. So it's really a scores-based system that ensures everyone has an opportunity to achieve those scholarships.
How many scholarships are there that you would review and then find the one for student?
So we award more than 250 individual scholarships. Okay. And so that comes out of about 70 distinct scholarship funds. So like I said, it's a little over $550,000 a year.
And you would say what percentage of the students? You said it was 30
34% of our applicants were successful in receiving a scholarship,
applicants for that. Now.
for the scholarship,
Just
right, just for the scholarship.
And we'll find that a lot of our students qualify for state or federal aid. So scholarships, a typical scholarship on our campus is
1,000 to 3,000.
1,000 to 3,000, and that generally will make the students whole for their time. We also have additional scholarship funding and every intention of increasing those numbers. We have just received, some of you may have seen it in the paper, $3 million gift from a donor that is going straight to scholarships. It's an endowed gift, so that will spin off $50,000 a year to start and then grow to $100,000 a year in additional awards. We have other gifts that we're working on to do the same. So we will continue to increase our scholarship funding, including possibly opening a second funding cycle because we're now getting such demand. So there really is a lot of opportunity. We also have more bespoke, depending on program, people in their clinicals and that can get some support funding when they're doing clinical placements. So we have a lot of different opportunities to support. We have bookstore scholarships. We can do bus passes for students if they can't do them. We have a lot of support mechanisms on our campus for our students to be successful.
So you do support transportation.
We can support transportation. We also, some of our programs are top in nation, you know, not best community college program, but actual top in nation. Our online learning was just rated, I think it was 13th in the nation, right below Harvard or Stanford, for our online programs. We have best in nation radiologic technology programs. We have the only medical dosimetry program west of Wisconsin. That is the person who figures out how much radiation you get during cancer treatment. So, and we build and shrink the cohort to meet the needs of our local hospital partners. So there's a nimbleness and a responsiveness that we can have at Bellevue College to our local business community that larger colleges don't have. So there are real advantages for being on our campus. Our planetarium is the only one in the state, as Izzy said, that does classroom, that, you know, has classes in the planetarium. So there's really, you know, I've been here about 18 months now. I was a student here 15 years ago, and it's really so impressive for me to walk around. The buildings on our campus are beautiful. They're state of the art. Our health sciences building can operate as an emergency shelter in a regional emergency. And more and more attention and more businesses are coming to us and saying, we really want your students. We want access to this workforce. And we are able to build and meet that need. So it really is a wonderful option that we really hope more people will consider. We love when our students transfer and we love when our students stay. They are really so well supported.
I don't have any questions in the chat online, so if folks here have any additional questions, we've got a few more minutes and here to help.
I have a question.
Yeah.
A lot of times students assume that if they're going to a community college in Washington, that they have to stay in Washington. Often that means that their credits don't transfer out of state. Is that true or false? I've been to some of you guys' international college fairs. You guys have colleges from across the U.S.
Across the U.S., our colleges, we actually have matriculation agreements with places on the East Coast. We have students that go to MIT. We have students that go to Stanford, and the UC schools they are real college credits. We just have the added benefit of our local colleges, UW and WSU in particular, hold spots for our transfer students, whereas MIT, you're going to have to fight your way to the top. But our local colleges, UW is a great partner. We provide the most juniors to the University of Washington of any college in any program in the state outside of their own students starting.
That's an important fact. That having going to UC, if you're transfer, the local colleges will support that. Just the UW or like Western?
UW, WSU hold spots for us, and the more we talk to colleges, the more excited they are. I think Seattle U is interested in starting that if we have students that move through certain programs that they have on campus. So we continue. We have a really exciting new president on our campus, and there's a lot of energy. Governor Locke was a fantastic interim president, but we've come out of COVID. He has now moved on to what he considers his organizational phase while he gets organized because his last child went to college. So we have a new president now who is really excited to build these partnerships, reinvigorate our campus after COVID. It's so great to have students on campus again. And I think that the colleges who are looking at our students and creating those agreements are simply going to grow in the coming years.
And for this Saturday's event, is that something you can come to at any point in the day, or is it something you need to be early, late, whatever?
Yeah, whenever, 10 to 2. There are information sessions. There's a QR code on the flyer over there as well and a link. But certain information sessions are at like designated times. So if you're trying to catch like Running Start, for instance, they have a different timing for their info session. But the tabling for everybody's like programs and just the general event will be all day. So. Yeah.
And they do tours of campus. Yeah, go ahead.
Is there competition to get into certain programs that have limited space?
There is, but when you talk to the deans of the programs, the goal is to grow the programs to meet the need. So if there is we're an open access school, first of all. So if you meet the requirements of however many credits you need in high school, et cetera, and Izzy knows more about that, you will get into Bellevue College. Then your first 2 years, our bachelor programs are 2-year programs on top of 2 years. So you don't get into the informatics program as your first year student. You do your 2 years, and then there are the 2-year add-ons, and those you have to apply to. And I believe the admission rate's pretty high. And
if you've stayed with us, through your bachelor's degree, it shouldn't really be a problem. One degree that is very popular and high in demand for us is diagnostic ultrasound. So if you're looking at more of those like professional technical degrees, sometimes the admission is difficult because there is high demand, but you can always take some general education courses and reapply each quarter as well. Something good about our healthcare programs is that we actually have 3 intake periods as opposed to other community colleges only have 1. So even if that you face that barrier, you're not in, you can always apply the next quarter versus other community colleges. You might have to wait a full year. So even if it's competitive, you still have the best chance with going with us.
How much support do you have for those programs from the health sciences?
Partnerships are extensive. So, COVID put a real hit on our hospitals for financials. So we're not getting a lot of financial support from our hospital partners right now, though they are very generous with internships, placements. They participate on campus, they're in advisory groups, and the financial contributions we get on campus, as you might expect, come in larger amounts from our tech partners. But the hospital partners are critically important to us on campus. They are very closely tied. It would be really hard for anybody in the room to go get x-rays or ultrasounds in this region without a very high likelihood of running into one of our students who is wanding you or x-raying you on their campus. So the support we get is in hiring, it's in access, really phenomenal access. And then just to add on to your question about the competition, we just started, I think it's is it management and informatics that's the most recent one? Mm-hmm. I was in one of the sessions on campus the other day and they said they expected 30 students the first year and had 100. So they grew it to that 100, right? So we do our best to meet the needs of the community. That is what we are charged with. It is our charter to actually prepare a workforce is what we're designed for. So it's a little bit different than a traditional 4 years charter, which is a much different approach to that workforce building.
We have about 2 minutes left before this session ends. So if you guys have any final questions, thoughts, wonderings, and then there's also the promotional material up here, Discovery Day. I went last year. It's amazing. It's pretty awesome what you guys put on.
And we will be there. Jessica and I will be there on Saturday. And we have the first 2 tables in the room. So come see us, ask us questions. We'll introduce you to program chairs and deans. All of the tables will be there. Everybody from financial aid to the different bachelor's programs, transfer degrees, running start. It's super popular. The campus faculty and staff love it. We come out in droves to support it. We love when the students come and look at our campus. They'll do tours all day. There'll be cookies.
What part of the campus will you be in?
We're in the new Student Success Center, which is our newest U building, and that's on the 3rd floor. And then they'll do tours from the 1st floor. They'll take people around campus. If you're there to see, or if you know anyone that's there to visit our neurodiversity navigators program, that they do keep their own office hours